Mallorie sat quietly by the window of a small cafe, watching people pass by on the busy street outside. The afternoon sun reflected off the glass, creating shifting patterns of light across her table. She held a warm cup of coffee in both hands, but her mind was far away. For weeks, people around her had been asking questions about her past. Some were curious, some simply wanted to understand the story that had shaped her journey. One name continued to come up again and again: Brandon. To many people, Brandon was simply Mallory's ex-boyfriend. But to those who knew them well, the story was much more complicated than a single label. Years before cameras, interviews, and public attention entered their lives, Mallory and Brandon were just two young people trying to figure out their futures. They first met during a community event organized by friends. Neither of them expected that a casual conversation would eventually grow into something meaningful. At first, they spoke only occasionally. A message here, a phone call there. A few meetings with mutual friends. Nothing seemed extraordinary. Yet over time, they discovered how easily they could talk to each other. Brandon had a calm personality. He listened carefully and rarely interrupted. Mallory appreciated that quality because she often had many thoughts she wanted to share. When she talked about her dreams, Brandon listened. When she discussed her worries, Brandon listened. When she spoke about the future, Brandon listened again. That simple ability made him stand out. As months passed, their friendship became stronger. Soon they began spending more time together. Weekend walks became regular. Movie nights became traditions. Long conversations stretched late into the evening. The relationship developed naturally. Neither felt pressured, neither rushed. For a while, everything seemed easy. Friends noticed how comfortable they were together. Family members welcomed the relationship. Even people who barely knew them could see that they enjoyed each other's company. One evening, while watching the sunset near a lakeside park, Brandon asked Mallory a simple question. "Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?" The question sounded ordinary, but it started one of the most important conversations of their relationship. Mallory described her ambitions. She wanted adventure. She wanted growth. She wanted to explore opportunities beyond her comfort zone. Brandon listened carefully. Then he shared his own vision. His goals were different. He preferred stability. He liked routine. He valued predictability. Neither perspective was wrong. But for the first time, they noticed that their futures might not be moving in exactly the same direction. At first, they ignored the difference. Many couples have different goals. Many relationships survive despite contrasting personalities. Mallorie and Brandon believed they could do the same. For another year, they continued building their life together. They celebrated birthdays. They attended family gatherings. They supported one another during difficult moments. When Brandon faced challenges at work, Mallory encouraged him. When Mallory struggled with important decisions, Brandon offered advice. Their partnership remained strong. Yet small differences slowly began appearing. Brandon enjoyed quiet weekends at home. Mallory preferred exploring new places. Brandon liked detailed plans. Mallory often embraced spontaneity. Brandon focused on the present. Mallory constantly imagined future possibilities. Individually, these differences seemed minor. Together, they gradually became harder to ignore. One particular weekend highlighted the issue. Mallory suggested taking a last-minute road trip. She had discovered a beautiful destination online and wanted to leave the next morning. The idea excited her. Brandon hesitated. He preferred planning trips weeks in advance. He wanted schedules, reservations, and certainty. The disagreement wasn't dramatic. Nobody shouted, nobody became angry. But both walked away realizing they viewed life differently. Months later, similar situations occurred again. Different decisions, different priorities, different expectations. Each conversation remained respectful, yet the gap between their visions slowly widened. Despite this, they genuinely cared about one another.